Hello, in this tutorial video, I'm going to show the user's login and registration system. The UniREST solution has various methods for registering a new user and allowing the user to log in. Basically, there are two scenarios that the UniREST solution can manage. The first is a classic Unity game, where each user has his own account and related data. In this case, the user logins with personal credentials, and the UniREST client starts to communicate with the UniREST server, so as to read and manage the user's personal data. The second is a Unity project where the user hasn't an account, but the game data is managed by the UniREST solution. In this case, the game has a sort of account, and the login simply opens a communication channel between your game and your server. For this tutorial, I have just created a test scene and a test mono behavior script. Then, I drag the test script on my main camera. In this way, when my game starts, my test script will be executed. I open my script in my editor. I add the reference to Tiger Forge namespace and, in the start function, I enable the UniREST client debug mode. This will show useful information on the Unity console. Now, I'm going to develop all the code inside the update function. This because I want to perform the various operations by pressing keyboard keys. Now, let's see how classic account registration works. The piece of code will be executed by pressing the R key. So, I just call the registration method. Because it simply returns true or false, I use a variable to catch the method's reply. As you can see from the IntelliSense, the registration method just requires two strings: a username and a password. Now, an important thing you must keep in mind. It's up to you to decide how to obtain those credentials. You are free to get a username and a password with the approaches you prefer. For example, you can ask the user to fill a form, or use third-party tools like Game Center. In this example, I simply type username and password directly in this method. Then, I use the result variable to show a message on the Unity console. Now, let's start the game. I press the R key. In the Unity console, you can see the various messages from the UniREST client. But the important message is the last one. Here, I can see that the account has been successfully registered. In the UniREST server application, I can see this new account in the users table. Let's get back to the script. Now, I'm going to add the code for the login. So, I type the if statement for the L key. And I call the login method. The use of this method is identical to the registration method, so I use a variable to catch the method's reply. I directly type the same credentials I used in the registration. And I add the code for showing on the Unity console the result of this operation. Let's start the game. Again, in the Unity console, I can see the UniREST client system messages. And the last one, that confirms the user has logged in. What happens if I press the L key again? Simply I repeat the login operation. If I want to better manage a situation like this one, I can take advantage of the isLoggedIn property. So, before calling the login method, I use the isLoggedIn property in an if statement. If the user is already logged in, I show a message. Because the UniREST server application is a WordPress plugin, it can access the WordPress user management system. This means that the UniREST solution can manage users shared between WordPress and the UniREST system. Doing this with the UniREST client is very easy. The only thing I have to do is simply to change the names of the methods, adding WP, that's all. To make this example work, I have to change the username, because I can't register an existing user. Instead, the WP login method accepts existing users. If the user already exists in the UniREST system, it will be added in WordPress. Let's start the game, and test the registration and the login with WordPress. As you can see, everything worked. Have a look at the UniREST server application. The new account is registered in the users table. Have a look also at the WordPress users page. The new user is here too. Now, I'm going to use a useful method, auto login. I type the auto login method in the start function. It will be called when the game starts. As the login method, also auto login replies with true or false. So, I use this reply to show, on the Unity console, if the login occurred. The auto login method automatically performs the login. This method expects that the user already performed a success login previously. I already did login in my previous tests, so it should work. Let's start the game. As you can see, the user has immediately logged in as the game started. The auto login method has also a special feature to totally automate user management. This means that it can not only perform login, but also register a new account if it doesn't exist. So, in the auto login method, I set the optional parameter auto registration to true. To make this example work, I already deleted the previous logged in session. Let's start the game. As you can see on the Unity console, UniREST client has performed two operations. It has registered a new account, and then it has logged in. For the new account, UniREST has used a randomly generated username and password. Let's start the game again. As you can see, this time UniREST client has performed only the login. The last useful method I'm going to show is the application login method. You have to use this method when you don't want to have user accounts, but you want your Unity project to have access to the UniREST server features. When you call the application login method, the UniREST solution will automatically create a shared, unique account directly linked to your game. So, in the start function, I type the application login method. Like the other methods, also this one replies with true or false. I catch this reply to show a confirmation message on the Unity console. And that's all. Let's start the game. As you can see, UniREST has registered a new account and then logged in. If I start the game again, I can see just the login operation.